In traditional Vedic astrology, everything revolves around the Ascendant, or Lagna. This is a coordinate point anchored entirely to the Earth's rotation, requiring a native's exact time of birth down to the minute. This precise time is used to generate highly sensitive mathematical tables, like the Vimshatari dashas. These periods and subperiods are the engines traditionally used to predict specific life events. But this model has a critical vulnerability. An error of just a few minutes in a recorded birth time causes these mathematical tables to misalign, cascading into massive predictive inaccuracies across a person's entire lifespan. This raises a paradox. What if achieving high predictive accuracy doesn't actually require this rigid minute-by-minute mathematical timekeeping? Enter Bhrigu Nandi Nadi. This is a 5,000-year-old South Indian astrological framework that entirely discards the ascendant and throws out the mathematical dasha tables completely. Instead, the system relies solely on real-time planetary geometry. It shifts the coordinates, elevating Jupiter to act as the Jiva, the life force or the native themselves, and Saturn as Karma, representing their physical actions and profession. Direct. The framework achieves predictive precision by mapping visual planetary geometry, sign exchanges, and fixed transit cycles. Decoupling predictive astrology from the Earth's fast rotation and relying strictly on the slow, steady orbits of the planets creates a framework that is inherently resistant to the errors of human timekeeping. To evaluate the trajectory of a native's life in Bhrigu Nandi Nadi, the process begins by locating Jupiter. Whatever sign Jupiter occupies at birth becomes House 1. Every calculation extends outward from this single anchor. This diagram illustrates the most powerful lines of influence in the system, the trine geometry. The strongest connections occur when planets occupy the 1st, 5th, and 9th houses relative to Jupiter. The grid also maps secondary geometric vectors. Quadrants, the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th houses, represent structured environments like property and marriage. The tricks, the 6th, 8th, and 12th, represent obstacles and loss. Then there are the structural restrictions. This is papakartari, or hemming. It occurs when a planet is trapped in the grid between two enemy planets occupying the adjacent squares on either side. When a planet is caught in a hemming scenario, its real-world significations are totally restricted. If the trapped planet represents wealth or education, the native will find those specific areas of life completely blocked. The framework also interprets physical movement. If a major anchor like Jupiter or Saturn is retrograde, meaning it appears to reverse its physical orbit, it dictates that the native's development and success will physically occur far away from their birthplace. In this framework, a planet does not hold strength in isolation. Its power is entirely determined by its spatial geometry and grid positioning relative to the main anchors. This spatial geometry is governed by strict logic gates. The first major gate is the rule of parivartana, or sign exchange. When two planets occupy each other's native signs, they act from their original domiciles. The framework requires you to physically swap their places across the chart to read their true influence. A parivartana exchange drastically alters the timing of life events. It can take a chart indicating late marriage or delayed professional success and suddenly accelerate those milestones by forming a cascade of new vector relationships. The second major logic gate is the Rahu-Ketu axis. In Bhrigu Nandi Nadi, these two nodes construct what is called the family circle. This creates a strict boundary rule. The chart is split in half by Rahu and Ketu, bisecting the entire grid into an inside zone and an outside zone relative to Jupiter. If a planet representing a specific relative, such as Mars representing a brother, falls outside this boundary, that relative will act as a step relative, or will live physically estranged from the native.
Parivartana and the family circle function as hard structural limits. They act as switches that control, redirect, and sometimes completely sever the flow of planetary destiny. With the spatial constraints set, the system turns to cyclical time. Bhrigu Nandi Nadi times life events using the fixed transit orbits of Jupiter and Saturn, operating like massive interlocking gears. This visualization shows the dual timing mechanism. Jupiter executes a 12-year transit cycle. This clock dictates the progressive stages of the soul's physical and material experience on Earth. During round 1, covering ages 1 through 12, the transit governs early physical development. Round 2, from 13 to 24, triggers the timing for higher education and marriage. Round 3, up to age 36, maps early career struggles. Round 4, reaching 48, triggers property acquisition. By round 6, from 61 to 72, the cycle initiates the primary danger and mortality phase. To find the exact year an event occurs, the system uses an age activation rule. The house position of the Lord of Jupiter's natal sign dictates the specific age when outcomes like sudden financial gain or ruin will manifest. Meanwhile, Saturn's 30-year karmic cycle operates independently. This is the year that strictly governs the professional timeline. The framework offers a precise formula for calculating the start of a career. Count the number of signs from natal Saturn to Rahu and multiply that number by 2.5 years. Saturn also serves as a definitive mortality indicator. When Saturn transits the 8th house from natal Jupiter during its 3rd round, it triggers a critical mortality event for the native. By overlapping Jupiter's 12-year soul cycle with Saturn's 30-year karmic cycle, the system generates specific event timing without requiring birth-minute precision. The BNN model maps abstract planetary data onto specific physical and biological realities. Take the rules for marriage. A male native's marriage is mechanically triggered when transiting Jupiter touches natal Venus. For a female, the event fires when Jupiter touches Mars. The system even maps geography. The specific zodiac sign placement of Venus or Mars dictates the exact compass direction of the future spouse's hometown. The system also outputs deterministic health diagnostics. A strict combination of the Sun, Mars, and Rahu in the grid definitively indicates severe blood or skin issues. The environmental hazards are also equally specific. If Ketu is placed in Cancer, a distinctly watery sign, it dictates a direct, life-threatening danger from drowning. The framework also explicitly reconstructs local environments. The Rahu-Ketu axis is used to reconstruct the exact directional layout of the street the native was born on, and religious proximity is hard-coded as well. The Sun placed in Leo dictates that the native's home will be located near a Shiva temple. This planetary geometry serves as a physical blueprint of a native's physiological vulnerabilities and local geography. Bhrigu Nandi Nadi relies on direct planetary observation, bypassing the Earth-centric ascendant used in other Vedic systems. Executing a reading follows a practical checklist. Step 1. Locate Jupiter to instantly identify the native's core community. Step 2. Reconstruct the physical environment by mapping the Rahu-Ketu road axis and checking the Sun's proximity to temples. Step 3. Assess the chart for structural constraints. Search the grid for hemming traps, parivartana exchanges, and family circle boundaries. Step 4. Run the Jupiter and Saturn transit clocks forward to extract the exact ages for future professional events. Bhrigu Nandi Nadi proves that true predictive complexity doesn't require endless mathematical dashboards or to-the-minute birth times. It requires a flawless understanding of cyclical time, structural limits, and absolute planetary geometry.